Welcome back to the NSHSS Scholars Connect Podcast, where we inspire students to stand out, step up, and take action. Today's episode is all about our Ambassadors program and also about balance, or at least the real version of it. We're talking about how students manage academics, leadership, and life without feeling burnt out along the way. We're joined by three incredible NSHSS Student Ambassadors, Nainika Manthena, Adaliz Ramirez, and Blaise Bowers. Together, they share what it's like to juggle school, leadership roles, and personal well-being. Whether you're feeling pulled in a dozen different directions, or if you just want to learn about our ambassador program, this conversation is the one for you. If you're listening to this episode and you would like to join our ambassador program, please apply. Application deadlines is April 1st, and you can apply on nshss.org. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to have our top tier student ambassadors here at NSHSS. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and share what being a part of the NSHSS ambassador program means to you.
Hi, my name is Adaliz Ramirez. I'm a high school student in Florida and the outreach coordinator for the Ambassador Program, and I'm also the host for the YouTube channel NSHSS 101. Being an NSHSS ambassador to me is being an important voice for NSHSS. Being an ambassador is something to be proud of, and not a lot of people can say that they are NSHSS ambassadors.
Hey everyone, my name is Blaise Bowers. I am the ambassador advocate for the NSHSS Ambassador Program. I am also a freshman in college at Chapman University in beautiful Orange County, California, studying business administration and economics with a minor in honors. After college, I am planning to go to law school where I want to be an entertainment attorney, and I'm super excited to be here. What really NSHSS leadership in the ambassador program means to me is community and excellence. It means not only honoring our excellence, but trying to channel it and do something good within our communities and within NSHSS as a whole.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nainika Manthena. I am a senior based in Tampa, Florida, and an incoming freshman at Duke University, where I'm going to study public policy. And I think what NSHSS is to me, and what being an ambassador means, is really initiative, as well as community and collaboration. Being able to have a space where you can share your initiatives, but also maybe ask someone else to be a part of yours. Creating a team to actually create more projects is the space that NSHSS creates, and it kind of creates like that community where everyone's really passionate to share your interests as well as fuel other people's interests. So I really love that about our organization.
That's so great to hear. I know that you have been super active in the ambassador program, but not only as members of the ambassador programs, but also leaders. So you have demonstrated so many leadership skills in the ambassador program, but also in school and in life. How has being involved in leadership shaped your confidence, your skills, and then also your future goals?
I would say that on the goals front, my goals is really what shaped me to start out being a leader. I wouldn't say leadership really shaped my goals per se. I've known since 6th grade that I wanted to be an entertainment attorney and that I wanted to get into filmmaking. And so I really used that interest and knowing that that's my end goal to try and propel myself forward for leadership. And for a long time, I've had a big leadership personality. I've enjoyed taking on the lead on school projects, groups. And so going into high school, I knew I wanted to take on a lot more leadership roles. And more recently, that's taken on the role of research at my university. It's taking on my job as a law clerk at a law firm and small firm based out of Texas. I work remotely for them. And it's also taken root in NSHSS. I, along with Nainika and several other people, were among the founders of the Ambassador Council within the Ambassador Program. And a big part of our goal was to bring more student leadership into the NSHSS Ambassador Program and really NSHSS as a whole. And I really saw that as a way to not only shape my confidence as a leader and how I portray myself and how I'm confident in my own ideas, but also just to help me get closer towards my goals and help develop myself as a leader.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, but I'm also part of the council. I'm the NSHSS Ambassador President, and I think, especially in leadership because of NSHSS, it really taught me a lot more about the fact that like leadership is also like being able to have growth within yourself, but also representing the people and being able to like communicate and connect with the people you lead. I think that really showed me like the importance of more than just what you're doing, like how you're growing, but also like the growth in the community that you lead. And this kind of like shaped my goals and my confidence because I tried more to really represent the people that I lead instead of simply focusing on your leadership position or your title. It's more about like the people that you represent, and I kind of like take this into every leadership or every activity that I do, being able to advocate for the people who depend on me, but also um, that I can create change to. And because of this, I've been able to be the leader for my TEDx, where I organize a TEDx talk at my own school, being able to represent like my community and their voices at a TED talk, and being able to have that chance to create a talk where everyone comes together, or in my Red Cross Club being president. I think it's really just important as a leader to understand that it is more than just what you create, but also how and for whom you're trying to create that change for. And I think I really like take value in that community that leadership brings.
Before becoming an NSHSS leader, my confidence was extremely low. After years of challenges at school and clubs, I felt defeated and exhausted from constantly having to protect myself. And those experiences lasted for years, and I felt hurt, humiliated, and invincible. And when the support groups opened within the NSHSS Ambassador Program, and I started receiving my leadership experiences, it felt like a second chance for me, and it gave me the opportunity to experience the leadership and the community that I have been searching for, even in a remote setting. For the first time in a long time, I felt valued and capable again. Being involved in leadership has completely reshaped how I see myself. It's helped me rebuild my confidence and develop real leadership skills, including communication, organization, and advocacy. It also clarified my future goals. I want to lead, to take responsibility, and to aim high because leadership is who I am. I don't want to settle, and I don't plan to. Being an NSHSS leader has shown me that the limitations others place on me were never true. My growth and accomplishments are proof of how far I come, and they motivate me to continue striving for excellence and reaching for my fullest potential.
Well said. So let's talk a little bit about balance. Let's talk honestly about it because you are all juggling school and life and then everything that comes in between. So, have there been moments when things felt overwhelming and how did you handle them?
Yeah, I think especially as an ambassador and when me and Blaise kind of started along with our other teammates, I think this was kind of like the first large scale project that I was really a part of. And I did really struggle in the beginning with balance. And I think the biggest thing that helped me throughout this is the team. And I think it's really important as advice, like not being afraid to ask for help, being able to um, really, even if you can't do it, being able to ask other people because they're always open to helping you out, especially in like leadership positions. You're going to be working with a bunch of people as a leader, and being able to know how to ask them, being able to delegate tasks is really important. And I think when things did feel overwhelming and when you do need to start balancing all the activities that you do, starting to really be able to use the community around you where everyone kind of goes to the same goal instead of just you can kind of like create that collaborative space as a leader, but also as a team player.
Yeah. So the way I see balance is just all about knowing yourself and your limits and what you are able to take on. And through a long time, that was kind of difficult for me because I'm very much a busy by choice person. And so throughout freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I was taking on a lot of APs and also doing a lot of clubs. I, at one point, had 4 clubs, 3 of which I had leadership positions in, and 1 of which I founded. And while it was very rewarding, I also found that sometimes I need to sacrifice time in one thing in order to make another thing work. And that was difficult at times. And so I had to really think about what I truly have time for and what I can make work. And now I would say by this time in my life, I've really realized that I can still do a lot of those things. And I just need to learn more ways to schedule myself, more ways to work on time management and whatnot. And also part of it was just that I didn't really find high school very challenging. I was able to take a lot of APs without really needing to study much at all. In fact, I think I could count on really one hand how many times I studied throughout all 4 years, and I still got good grades in the end. So I really was able to use that in order to take on a lot more activities and try and put myself out there a little bit more and get more opportunities. And I would say that ended up working out my favor, but most people can't do that. Most people do still need to study more because that's how they learn. I learned a lot better by just being in class and absorbing the material through lectures. I didn't learn as much by studying after and reading. And that was how I learned best, and that's how I was able to learn material well. And so I think what I would really recommend is I would recommend people really thinking about what their balance looks like, thinking about what their time management looks like, thinking about what's most important to them. Also thinking about what their end goal is if they've decided what that goal is, and centering activities around that. So that's what I did, and I think it was really successful for me.
That's amazing. And also one of the things that I heard is that when you're intuitive in one space, it gives you the opportunity to really focus on those other spaces where you need a little bit more attention. So whereas school came more easily to you, you were able to compartmentalize and be able to focus on other areas in order to improve those areas. That's such great advice. So what is one mistake that you made along the way that taught you an important lesson on balance and prioritization?
I want to tell a story about one of my lowest moments in life. In my sophomore year at high school, I transferred to an IEP school for students with learning disabilities. At first, I thought it was the best decision we ever made. Compared to my previous school, it felt safe and I finally felt hopeful. But that feeling didn't last. I experienced discrimination, exclusion, bullying, unfair grading, and repeated violations of my IEP. And I felt like my problems were brushed aside or quietly covered up. I never received accountability from on-campus administration, and instead I was made to feel like I was the problem. I was broken, devalued, and I felt like my voice didn't matter no matter how much I spoke up. In the classrooms, my accommodations were also ignored. My IEP states that I need a quiet learning environment, but the classrooms were so loud that I had to wear soundproof headphones just to focus. So I often missed instructions, and at times I was forced to work outside to complete assignments, even though I have a medical condition that makes heat and sun exposure unsafe for me. And I don't think I should have ever been put in that position. I was also part of a club called High School High Tech, and I desperately wanted a leadership role. Instead, I was repeatedly excluded from meetings, events, and opportunities due to administrative errors and lack of communication. Leadership positions were handed out during events that I wasn't informed about, and I would sit in meetings realizing that I was the only person who didn't know what was going on, and it was humiliating and isolating. And when I asked respectful, reasonable questions about why I was being excluded, I was labeled as hostile and aggressive. And this was especially painful because my IEP clearly documents that I have communication differences, and the context was never taken into account. And instead of recognizing that I was a student with disabilities trying to advocate for myself, I was punished for how my concerns were perceived. The next school year, I tried to rejoin the club knowing that I had the right to apply, even though I had bad experiences. I desperately wanted to have some sort of leadership position before leaving high school, and I was denied the application entirely by the assistant principal, and she refused to give me an application, and that was the breaking point. I'm happy and I'm content with NSHSS. For a long time, I felt like my high school leadership dreams were crushed, and I was mentally and emotionally, I struggled, but through the ambassador program, I found empathy, structure, and real support. And today, I'm the outreach coordinator for the NSHSS program. one role, and that role is mine. Out of thousands of students, I was trusted to lead. I learned that sometimes letting go is part of healing. That experience wasn't meant for me, and that's okay because there's a bigger world out there, and I found a place where I'm seen, valued, and empowered.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Your leadership has been one of the highlights of us as NSHSS. So I'm really happy to hear that you really embraced that leadership. And then also, even when things felt overwhelming, took that extra step and were able to be recognized for all of your hard work.
Self-pity can be so disruptive. I used to put myself in a reality that I am the victim. And honestly, I was in some cases, but I did not want to for the rest of my life. I did not want to constantly feel sorry for myself because it's unhealthy. It's never good to carry that victim mentality in your life. It can desensitize you toward other people's problems and make you unhappy. We need to show empathy and mercy because sometimes we don't understand the full problem, their problem, but you can't if you're full of self-pity. Empathy is a quality in a good person, and we should always be trying to be our best selves. When you're negative and bitter, when you have a victim mentality, you're never truly happy. God had to work in me on this and open my eyes. He showed me my family, my home, the things I should be thankful for. I need to keep moving forward so I can be the best me that I can be. If you're focused on the people around you, then you will miss out on a lot of valuable opportunities to grow. Having self-pity has guided my decisions for the worse, leading to consequences I wish I could take back. This is my regret, and this is my mistake.
I would say one thing I regret is not stopping to open my eyes a little bit more. I feel like, especially throughout high school, I was very much a go, 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 do this, do this, do this. I didn't take enough time to like stop and look at the people around me, the things around me, and just like reflect and think and slow down. And that really just like took the form of like doing a lot of activities and staying very busy, but not having as many friends and not being as social. And so like by my like senior year, I didn't really have that many friends throughout high school. And I ended up blooming more socially senior year, even though I was still doing a lot. And what that really taught me was that balance and prioritization isn't just about what you do or accomplishments or successes. It's also about the connections you make. It's about the friends you make. It's about the social aspect, because that's an important part, especially for me as an extrovert. That's an important part of rejuvenating ourselves and helping ourselves grow and helping ourselves learn a lot. We can learn a lot from other people. And I definitely took the approach throughout high school of focusing very much on learning by doing, not as much learning by talking and learning by listening and learning by having experiences with other people that helped me learn more about myself and learn more about things that I just didn't know.
I really appreciate you saying that because it's definitely a skill to be able to speak with others and then also learn from others, because sometimes you get into a vacuum where you think you know everything and then you learn something, you're like, whoa. And that only comes from exchange and talking with others.
Yeah, I think my biggest mistake, very much like what Adaliz and Blaise said, um, it I think it was basically just not branching out more. I think I was really focused on one field or one activity. Like I wanted to pursue public policy, so I did activities related to that. But that kind of hindered my exploration in other fields like computer science or like art, or not doing like literature. Like I didn't really look into a lot of other activities, a lot of other fields. And I think what I regretted the most is not branching out and not exploring. Not like going, because we had amazing opportunities, a lot of programs at our school that I never did, but my friends did. And once it like did become time by senior year, I kind of felt like being left out as other people did all the other activities, and I really wasn't doing those. So I think the biggest piece of advice is being able to like focus on what you're really interested in, but also not afraid to branch out. Like do the one like coding class. Like there's really no hurt in it, and also you're able to learn more. I wanted to learn more about like CS or finance. Would have been cool to learn about if I did learn that. And I think this summer I kind of want to learn and explore this upcoming like few months before I start college, because I think that's really important. So you really know your hobbies, your explorations. It's really good to have those like pastimes and also have that exploration as well as your main interests.
Yes, and you'll probably experience this once you go to school and you'll see friends also go through this. You start learning about things that you've never learned about before, and you're like, wait, do I want to change my major? Do I want to take this internship instead of this other internship? Because you just, you think this is what I want to focus on, but there's a whole world of subjects and topics, which is why many people start changing their majors halfway through college. They're like, oh, wait, actually, maybe I do want to study biology or art or anthropology, because they didn't take that time to actually explore. And this is actually the perfect time to explore while you're young, while you have the world at your fingertips. This is the perfect time. So um, that's such great advice. So going into NSHSS, how has being a part of the NSHSS communities supported your growth as a student and also as a leader?
Would say that I've really grown the most as a leader through NSHSS because of just getting the chance to be a leader and getting the chance to suggest things and actually contribute to the community. I know I'm a part of a lot of organizations. I'm a part of National Technical Honor Society, and I'm also a part of National Honor Society and Honor Society. And within all of those like organizations, there's a very big difference between NSHSS and them when regards to how you can actually influence the organization. I know with Honor Society, I guess they have an ambassador program, but it's like very selective and not very active. I know National Technical Honor Society is very much chapter based, and my chapter just like really wasn't active. And National Honor Society, my chapter was very big, and it was hard to really influence or make any kind of like waves within that program. But with NSHSS, it's a huge honor society, yet there's still so much exposure you can get. There's still so much influence you can have if you just have the right idea or even just a good idea that you want to share. And I've really gotten to experience this firsthand, just like along with me and Nainika working within the Ambassador Council and getting that started. Also, just I'm actually also involved in some changes happening within the Collegiate Council. I did a similar thing, suggested some changes for the Collegiate Council, and now we are starting to implement those changes with some differences from what I suggested. And so just like the fact that I get to see that my suggestions are being seriously considered, even for the ones that didn't end up going through or didn't end up getting established, just getting to see that they're even considered and even some of them getting like actually put into practice, it's really, really cool to see. And it's helped me develop my leadership.
We actually really, really love when you give suggestions. It always comes up at our team meetings. We're just like, the ambassadors are just so amazing. They have so much insight and input, and the fact that you guys have started a council and like a YouTube channel, like all of those things are really, really true to our hearts. Like we really love when you all take that initiative, and you guys are just experts at taking an initiative and doing things. So kudos to all of you for the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I think the biggest way that NSHSS kind of developed me as a leader was learning how to talk with all of these people that you've never met. Honestly, like some of the people you meet at school, you maybe see around the hallways or you see them in clubs, but these are ambassadors that are from all across the world, international, from all of these states, and you all really communicate virtually. And I think that was really cool learning how to connect with different kinds of people and different interests. And also, I love learning how to network, I think is a big thing, especially professionally. The NSHSS team, like you guys bring so many amazing professionals and organizations that you work with. They're coming to our talks or coming to give us a talk, or as a collegiate member, they also come and help like the members form opportunities in their organizations. And I think that's really cool to see other people come in, acknowledge the work that NSHS does, and also being able to have the opportunity to work or volunteer with them is really cool. And talking with these people that maybe you'd never meet on a daily basis through the NSHSS program. So I loved being able to connect and network with so many different people through our organization. So I love that.
Yes, networking is a big part of what we try to do. We try to put you guys in front of as many people as possible, and also the NSHSS partners and our professional network is so large that we just really love when they get to connect with you as ambassadors and then also just our general members. So I'm so happy that you have taken advantage of the whole networking aspect. That's really, really cool.
I have to say, NSHSS is one of the most supportive communities that I have ever been a part of. Truly, it has. In a world full of disorder and chaos, it's good that there are places like NSHSS. It's like I said about my experiences. NSHSS gave me the leadership experience that I wanted, that I dreamed to have, and it gave me connections as well. And in the ambassador program, I was seen for my potential from the beginning when my application was accepted to actually joining, and I'm satisfied and content. I wanted to be president and student council, but it looks like God had different plans, and this is way better. I'm very passionate about my job. I'm passionate about NSHSS, and this is something I will gladly put effort in because this is something I believe in. This is something I'm willing to lose sleep for. They take me seriously, so I will take my work seriously. I was shown empathy and compassion, and I was seen for my potential. And I hope to continue my path in NSHSS from the ambassadors to the collegiate council, the fellow, and lastly, the board.
Thank you so much for joining and giving our listeners a little bit of wisdom and then also your experience with NSHSS and then also as leaders in the world. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you
having
for
us.
having me.
Well, that wraps up our Scholars Spotlight episode. A huge thank you to Nainika, Adaliz, and Blaise for reminding us that balance isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about being intentional, flexible, and kind to yourself. Again, if you're interested in joining the Ambassador Program, the application deadline for the spring is coming up on April 1st. If you missed the spring deadline, no worries, because fall applications start August 15th and end on October 1st. Learn more about how to apply on NSHSS.org. If you're an NSHSS member or thinking about becoming a member, stay connected for upcoming episodes, events, and opportunities. Keep standing out, stepping up, and taking action, everyone. Today's episode was brought to you by the National Society of High School Scholars. The intro and outro music was produced by NSHSS Student Ambassador Sage Leggett.